Right now, you are sitting at the absolute, undisputed top of the food chain. You sleep in a warm room without ever worrying about something dragging you off into the dark. If you want meat, you tap a piece of glass and a stranger drives it to your door. Nothing hunts you. You are, for all practical purposes, untouchable. Now look at your actual body. No claws, no fangs. Your night vision is genuinely pathetic. And if a loose neighborhood dog decided to chase you down the street, there's a real chance it would win. On paper, you are one of the softest, slowest, most defenseless large animals alive. So here's a question that breaks every rule in nature. How did a creature this soft, this slow, and this weak become the one animal that everything else on Earth is terrified of? To understand how little sense this makes, we have to go back 40,000 years, to a world ruled by giants. Cave lions bigger than grizzly bears, packs of dire wolves, saber-toothed cats with fangs the size of kitchen knives. To them, an early human wasn't a rival. We weren't a threat. We were a slow, hairless, easy meal. And yet, within just a few thousand years of that fragile creature spreading across the planet, almost every one of those giants was gone. The lion, the bear, the mammoth, the rhino, wiped from the earth. And the ones that survived, the lions and tigers and bears still alive today, carry something in their blood, a very old fear, a built-in biological terror of us. This is the story of the three weapons that let the weakest animal on Earth hack the food chain and become the ultimate super predator. Let's go back to the beginning. On paper, early humans were a joke of a predator. Think about what a real apex hunter is supposed to be. A lion has 40 kilograms of jaw muscle and claws like meat hooks. A wolf can smell prey from nearly 2 miles away. Even a leopard can haul a carcass heavier than itself straight up a tree. These are purpose-built killing machines, refined over millions of years. Now look at us. We couldn't outrun anything. We couldn't outbite a house cat. Our night vision was pathetic. Our skin tore like paper. If you dropped a lone, unarmed human into the Ice Age and asked a bookmaker for odds, nobody would have bet on the human. But evolution wasn't building us to win a fight. It was building us to win a war of attrition, and it gave us three weapons no other animal had ever combined. The first was a body built for distance. There's a long-standing idea in anthropology called the persistence hunting hypothesis, the theory that our ancestors evolved into extraordinary endurance runners, able to jog for hours in the heat while the animals they chased overheated and collapsed. It's debated, and not every scientist agrees it shaped our evolution. But what's not debated is that humans are freakishly good at going the distance. We sweat instead of panting. We can travel all day. A cheetah is faster than us for 30 seconds. Over 30 miles, it isn't even close. The second weapon was the throw, and the third, the one that changed everything, was the thing burning in front of that cave. Here's a fact that should stop you in your tracks. Deep inside Wonderwork Cave in South Africa, scientists have found burnt bone and ash suggesting that human ancestors were controlling fire possibly as far back as 1 to nearly 2 million years ago. Fire came before farming, before writing, before the wheel, before almost everything we think of as human. And fire wasn't just for warmth or cooking. Growing evidence suggests one of its very first jobs was defense. Recent research on Homo erectus argues that guarding meat and keeping predators away at night were among the original reasons early humans kept a flame alive. Because here's the thing about fire. The fear of it is one of the only truly universal fears in the animal kingdom. Nearly every land animal flees from it on instinct, no experience required. The ones that ran from wildfires survived. The ones that didn't, burned. That terror is written into the deepest layers of animal biology. So imagine you're a cave lion, and evolution has spent millions of years hammering one rule into your bloodline. Fire means death. Run. And now there's a creature that carries fire with it. A creature that sits inside a ring of the one thing you are wired to fear more than anything else. To that lion, we didn't look like prey. We looked like something impossible, a walking piece of the wildfire itself. Smart move, honestly. We figured that out before we figured out anything. Now add the second piece. In a coal mine in Schoningen, Germany, archaeologists pulled complete wooden hunting spears out of the ground that date back roughly 300,000 to 337,000 years, the oldest complete hunting weapons ever found. These weren't crude sticks. They were balanced, engineered, thrown and thrust with skill, and used to kill horses and other large game. Think about what a spear really does. It's not just a sharp stick, it's distance. For the first time in the history of life on Earth, a small, soft animal could kill a large, dangerous one without ever touching it. Every other predator has to close in, has to grapple, has to risk a kick or a horn or a bite. The spear broke that rule. It let the weakest hunter strike the strongest prey while staying just out of reach. And we have proof this worked on the giants. In Siegsdorf, Germany, scientists found a roughly 48,000-year-old cave lion skeleton with a fatal wound, the mark of a wooden spear thrust into it while it lay on its side. It is the oldest direct evidence we have of humans hunting one of the great Ice Age predators. Read that again. Neanderthals, smaller than the cave lion, unarmored, armed with nothing but sharpened wood, were the ones doing the killing. Now put all of it together, and the results are almost hard to believe. Everywhere humans went, the giants vanished. In Australia, the great die-off of the megafauna began around 50,000 years ago, right around the time people arrived. In the Americas, humans spread across the continents, and within a few thousand years, roughly 38 groups of enormous mammals disappeared. Mammoths, mastodons, ground sloths the size of cars, sabre-toothed cats. The dating lines up again and again on continent after continent with the arrival of one animal. Scientists still argue about how much was climate and how much was us, but the pattern is impossible to ignore. Wherever the small, fire-carrying, spear-throwing primate showed up, the biggest animals on Earth ran out of time. And we didn't just hunt a lot, we hunted differently. A landmark 2015 study in the journal Science found that modern humans kill adult prey, the breeding adults, the heart of a population, at rates up to 14 times higher than other predators, and hunt other carnivores at around 9 times the rate. A wolf usually picks off the sick, the old, the weak. We took the strong. No other predator in the history of the planet has ever hunted like that. We weren't just a predator, we became the super predator. Here's where the ancient story reaches right into the present day, because that ancient reckoning left a scar on every predator alive. Modern science has now put numbers on it. In the Santa Cruz Mountains of California, researchers ran playback experiments on mountain lions, pumas, animals that take down full-grown deer without breaking stride. When the scientists played recordings of human voices, the pumas fled and abandoned kills they had already made, far more than when they heard other sounds. Giving up a hard-won meal is an enormous cost for a predator. They paid it anyway, just to get away from the sound of us talking. And it's not just pumas. In a major study across Africa's greater Kruger region, researchers found that lions, leopards, and nearly the entire mammal community reacted with far more terror to human voices than to the sound of lions themselves. Let that sink in. In the middle of lion country, the most feared sound on the landscape wasn't the lion, it was us. Scientists now openly call humanity the super predator, and they've shown this fear ripples through whole ecosystems. Deer, rodents, everything shifts, just because of where we are and where we aren't. That fear didn't appear last year. It was earned, generation by generation, kill by kill, across tens of thousands of years. Every predator that treated us as easy prey tended not to pass on its genes. The cautious ones survived, and so caution became instinct. When a leopard catches your scent in the dark today, an alarm goes off in its nervous system that was set ringing by your ancestors, hundreds of centuries ago. But there's one last piece, and it's the strangest of all, because the real weapon was never the fire or the spear. It was the thing that invented them. Roughly 40,000 years ago, someone in a German cave took a piece of mammoth ivory and carved a figure with the body of a man and the head of a lion. The Lowenmensch, the Lion Man. It's one of the oldest artworks on Earth, and it represents a being that does not exist, something imagined, something that fused the human and the beast. And that tells you everything, because the animals we conquered, the lion, the bear, the mammoth, they could only ever be what they were. We could dream up something more. We could imagine ourselves as the lion. We could plan a hunt before it happened, invent a weapon that didn't exist yet, and pass that idea down to children who would improve on it. No claw, no fang, no muscle could compete with that. So why did the biggest animals fear the smallest humans? Not because we were strong. We never were. They feared us because we were the only animal that could carry fire, kill from a distance, work as one, and imagine a future in which they were the prey. The giants are gone, but the fear we taught them is still out there, alive in every predator that goes still when it hears a human voice in the dark. That fear is a memory, and the memory is of us. Next time you look at a lion behind glass or hear a wolf on a nature documentary, remember, it isn't looking down on you. Somewhere in its blood, it's looking up. If this rewired how you see our ancestors, subscribe, because we're only just getting started on the story of what ancient humans really were.